Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. With every patch release I wanted to read the patch notes and known issues, so this time I want to look at the patch notes for 2.6 released on the 3rd of January 2017. Alpha patch 2.6.0 has been released and is now available for players. This patch provides access to Star Marine with 2 maps and 2 game modes to choose from. We hope that you're all excited as we are for this release. We also have 4 new playable ships, 4 new variants of existing ships, new FPS combat mechanics such as cover, mantle and vault, major ship balance changes, pirate swarm game mode, and so much more in fixes and updates to existing content. Your launcher should now show 2.6.0-490789-C as client version. It is strongly recommended that players delete their user folder for live client after patching, particularly if you start encountering any odd character, graphical issues or crashes on loading. The user folder can be found in default installations on Program Files, Cloud Imperium Games, Star Citizen, Public, and the user folder is just there. Important issues. Players in a party will be separated finishing a multiplayer game. You will have to reform parties after each match. Star Marine leaderboards are not yet in and may be showing as coming soon. I do believe they are actually now on the website though, so you can check those out. Star Marine loadouts can take 15 to 30 seconds to save to the database. If you proceed into game right away, it will sometimes place you in the default loadout instead, and there is a fix behind that. Just literally wait those 30 seconds after you've saved your loadout. Patch stalls. So if you find your launcher has stalled with only a small quantity of data remaining left to download, we recommend that you use a VPN to complete the download. Should you require a free VPN service, they recommend TunnelBear, and I'll link to that in the description below. And should you need any more assistance, there is a huge amount of FAQs and signposting which can be found on the robertspaceindustries.com/help section. I will put a link to the FAQs and help there as well. New features, Star Systems, Crusader. The Grim Hex bar is now open and ready for your absolutely illegal legitimate business. Crusader now has several new locations to visit and a new ICC probe mission. The Yellow Asteroid Belt has received some special updates with some much denser fields of asteroids and more varied salvage locations. Game systems, Arena Commander. Pirate Swarm is a new game mode to Arena Commander for both Drone Sim and Spectrum matchups. Players will be challenged to defeat increasing numbers and increasingly difficult waves of varied pirates. The players will scale the amount of pirates that will be present in every match, so the more players, the more pirates. Enemies in a specific Arena Commander mode, so Vandal Swarm, Pirate Swarm, Squadron Battle, Battle Royale will now drop pickup items. Anyone in a match can obtain these items by flying through them or flying very close to them. These pickups come in 4 flavours, and they will be Restore, Afterburner Fuel, Missiles, Ballistic Ammo, or Repair Your Ship. Players are now promoted through the ranks of the UE Navy on the Arena Commander leaderboards. Work your way up from Starman Recruit all the way up to Legatus Navum, or Navium, or however the hell we pronounce that. A special rank only awarded to the first player to reach it per season. The majority of ships are unlocked for use in Arena Commander private and single player matches, including the Constellation, Retaliator and Caterpillar. Obviously you need to own those ships or rent them first though. Capture the Core has been deactivated as an Arena Commander game mode at this time, but should be coming back hopefully. Star Marine, our first person shooter combat. Star Marine is now available for players. 2 maps will be available in the initial release of Star Marine. Station Demian and Echo 11. Star Marine has 2 available game modes for 2.6.0, Elimination and Every Man for Themselves mode, where you duke it out for the highest kill score. That is a basically free-for-all deathmatch. And Last Stand, where Outlaws and Marines, 2 teams, wrestle for control over 4 key computer terminals to earn points for their team over 4 rounds. The team with the most points wins, and it's the team that first to 3 wins. So it's best of 4. So you can effectively draw over 2 rounds, but the team with the most points overall, effectively, if you get 2 rounds each, will win. Beyond the weaponry you've come to know and love in Crusader, grenades are also available in Star Marine for ammo crates. So picking up ammo in ammo crates will replenish your ammo, but also your grenades. Leaderboards are now available for Star Marine via the website. These include tracking points, rankings, and score similar to what is available in Arena Commander. Players are now promoted through the ranks of the UE Marines on the leaderboards as well. Again, you can work your way up to Legatus Millennium, which is the Marine version of that previous rank we talked about for Arena Commander. Again, that's a special rank only awarded to the first player to reach it per season. Loadout customization is enabled for Star Marine. Users can select weapons for each slot and armor type, light or medium. Please keep in mind that because team distribution is random, players will need to edit both their Outlaw and Marine loadouts to ensure they receive the correct loadout for both teams. Remember, you might want them different because of different spawn points, or whatever your mindset is for there. Star Marine scoring. Standard kills are worth 100 points. A bleed out kill is worth 75 points. This is based on who got the last blow on an enemy before they subsequently bled to death. Suicide inflicts a penalty of minus 200 points. First blood kills give a bonus of 100 points, rewarded to the first player to score a kill. Revenge kills score plus 50 points, rewarded if your next kill was the player that killed you last. Ace reward is plus 100 points. So ace is rewarded if you kill 5 players in a row without dying. You are marked to all players with a pulse of an icon at your location every time you make a kill of 5 or over, which is obviously a reason that people might be able to see you very, very well. Ace spray is plus 25 and increases for each kill over the first 5 as the ace killing spree ends. So a kill bonus of 6 will be you get plus 25 points. 7 kills in a row would give you plus 50 points in addition to any other points that you get as well, if you see what I mean. Ace kill plus 150 points rewarded for killing an enemy who is an ace, and plus 25 points for every one of their kills that was over 5. So if they had 10 kills, you'd get a load more points, basically. Nemesis award, plus 150 points, awarded for killing the same enemy 3 times in a row without being killed by them. Redemption reward, plus 150 points for killing your nemesis. Resurgence reward, plus 50 points for killing an enemy that you've had more than 3 deaths without a kill. Bonus, plus 50 for every death without a kill over 3. So you do get some pretty good, you can rack up some pretty cool killing sprees and stuff there. There's probably some good meta to work out exactly how you should play. Combat emotes. In addition to everything else that comes with Star Marine, we've also implemented some basic combat signals to the keypad of the keyboard for Star Marine. These will broadcast at a much shorter range than chat messages or emotes normally would, and allow players who are not in voice chat to convey strategy to each other, is the idea. Left, it was keypad 1, stop is keypad 2, right is keypad 3, yes, keypad 4, forward is keypad 5, no is keypad 6, and they are conveyed with literally hand signals. They're not bound to any keypad, to any gamepads at this time. Health system updates. Bleeding has been added into the game. Bleeding is a debuff which stacks additive with itself and will decrease your total health pool every second it ticks down. Each body part that enters a ruined state, 10% or less health, can apply a stack of bleeding. Right now, each bleeding stack deals 1 damage to you per second. When your pool reaches 0, your character dies. To stop bleeding, you must use a medipen to restore the injured limb out of that ruined state. And that obviously prevents all bleeding that was currently on you. Lobby refactor. Our new front end interface is now implemented with updated graphics and new features. Some notable changes include all new loadout customization sections for Arena Commander. This allows players to edit their ship components and for Arena Commander matches through the game interface without the use of a port modification. The ship loadouts edited in this way will be retained from session to session. They're persistent and carry over into Arena Commander, but not Crusader. This editing is not for Crusader, it is for Arena Commander. Players still have the option of viewing and editing their ships via the port modification system in hangars and in the persistent universe. Players already in a lobby will now be able to receive, accept and decline invites to other lobbies. Changing the game map or mode in a lobby will now unready all players so they can reconfirm new match configuration. The next section talks about third-person camera and the new camera controls. I will link a video I've done with this because it requires examples and it shows you a much more in-depth example of every bit and bob for the camera system, which is very useful for making very cool videos. Link in the description for all of that jazz. Social module, new chat commands and functionality have been added. /add ignore, /remove ignore, /show ignore, /tell, /party invite, /party live, /add contact, /remove contact. Ignore is new and will add players to your ignore list. There is not currently a UI to view which players you have ignored other than the /show ignore command, so use with caution. /tell will send private messages to another player. The party and contact commands are shortcuts with the same as the existing functions in your contact UI. Ships. 4 new ships are both flight and hangar ready: the Aegis Vanguard Hoplite, the Drake Herald, the Drake Caterpillar, and the Origin 85X. 4 new ship variants are available as well: the Anvil Hornet F7C Wildfire, the Aegis Avenger Titan Renegade, the Aegis Saber Comet, and the Aegis Gladius Valiant. We have also made the following ships available in Arena Commander, though they are restricted to private matches and single-player games: the Constellation Andromeda, the Retaliator, and the Caterpillar. Ship balance update. They have made significant changes to how ships perform in 2.6.0 and expect that this will significantly alter combat tactics for many players. One of the largest changes has been ship speeds. As more and more ships have gone into the game, their speeds have slowly crept up to make room for them. The end result is that in combat in SCM mode, it has progressively got worse and further apart, or at least expanded distances between ships. These increased speeds are undesirable, give you undesirable sliding and turning, and with that, more unintended collisions and as a general requirement, you don't want to fly too near to anything. So up to now, certain ships were held as a gold standard, meaning that we had to force values of new ships far beyond what they should naturally sit at. Our goal is to normalise speeds and reset balance across the board. Reducing SCM speeds has allowed us to keep tweaking the afterburner and cruise speeds close to what they currently are, and put resource on boost fuel and its management to hop between engagements. Alongside the flight speed changes, we're also rebalancing a lot of the weapon velocities, and they've started to stretch out to match speeds. While these reductions in velocities are not as drastic as the SCM reductions, the goal is to bring them both in line for a more satisfying combat experience. The changes mean that the management of this boost and afterburner going forward is once again becoming a viable combat tactic. So, flight system changes. Complete rebalance of SCM speeds and ship handling for all ships. Cruise mode has been removed at this time. It's kind of been merged into SCM speeds, is a more accurate representation of that. Afterburner has been rebalanced, such as the max speed of afterburner is now comparable to the 2.5 patches cruise, and fuel consumption and availability has been adjusted accordingly. The goal is that afterburner becomes the method to engage and disengage combat, as well as giving the choice between outright speed or better handling. Precision mode still exists, but can only be accessed via landing mode. The Keybinding V no longer shifts between cruise, precision and SCM, as the first 2 modes have effectively been removed. All ships have had a first pass, or had their pass on their thruster, fuel consumption value and heat generation. All ships have had a pass on their fuel intake regeneration rates. All ships have had a pass on their fuel tank capacities. General thruster usage now consumes a small amount of fuel. Both afterburner and boost now consume fuel. Afterburner consumes more fuel and boost on a per item basis. Depending on the maneuvers being pulled with boost, this may feel like boost is draining more fuel. Consumption and regeneration rates have been returned to allow for long distance straight line speeds. Strafe has had some adjustments made to it to fit many flight changes. Using strafe in normal flight, you should only get a change in velocity plus minus SCM max velocity rather than plus minus afterburn max velocity. Your strafe velocity range is no longer higher when using afterburner. If you are flying over SCM's max speed and switch into decoupled mode, strafe will allow you to decelerate but not accelerate. Strafe forward with while in decoupled mode now properly uses the main engine and allows for AB usage. Made adjustments based on player feedback to how dual stick controls interpreted are by the IFCS. Afterburner functionality changes. Afterburner and boost consumption rates have been adjusted. Once fuel is depleted, you are now kicked out of Afterburner until it has enough regenerated. Afterburner no longer automatically disables G-Safe. When Afterburner is pressed, fuel when Afterburner is used rapidly and consumed rapidly. Please note that fuel is burned more while accelerating. Afterburn fuel consumption stops when shift is released or the desired Afterburner speed is achieved. Please note that no fuel is burned when idling, so not accelerating. Maneuvering ability is currently not scaled down when you get closer to max Afterburner. When Afterburner is released, power draw and heat signature increase are proportional to the percentage of your max Afterburner speed that you are at. If you try to pitch your intelligent flight computer system, will arrest you down to the SCM speed indicated by the throttle setting. Roll does not trigger this. This arrest of speed is more gradual and smoother than direct throttle adjustment. The drop in velocity is currently the normal deceleration rate for SCM. Boost functionality. Boost, which is on the X key on your keyboard, replaces the former space brake mapping. Space brake is still available with left alt and X pressed together on the keyboard, or left shoulder and thumb left on a gamepad, and is the shifted version of boost. Functions the same as before in that it does not alter your throttle position but uses boost to stop quickly. Boost improves thrust to all secondary maneuvering and retro thrusters. While these thrusters consume less fuel in their boost state depending on maneuvers being pulled, you may experience a higher draw of fuel. Holding down boost, X on the keyboard, will allow you to turn and stop quicker. If you want to brake quickly, you want to zero your throttle and press X. That will kind of like boost slow you. General balance changes. Complete rebalance of missile loadouts for all ships. All new missile racks and missiles have been created and outfitted to every ship. Every ship has had its missile rack hardpoints adjusted. Rebalance of countermeasures and ammo too. All missile rack hardpoints are now editable and missile rack items can be exchanged again. This will be the complete rebalance of all shields for all ships. These are to simulate item 2.0 shield values, which will be coming in a future patch, as they are approximate of the intended default loadouts. First person stuff. Animations. We have made a huge number of updates and additions to first person combat animations in 2.6. These include cover, both standing and crouching, vaulting, which allows players to jump over obstacles, and low cover, such as railings, mantling, which allows players to grab onto ledges and hold, allows them to pull themselves up on handholds and stuff like that on objects. These are primarily implemented to Star Marine at this point to allow players to test them in a focused environment. The Crusader ATT-4 laser rifle is now named the Crusader Gallant laser rifle in game. The Gemini LH-86 ballistic pistol is now named the Gemini L86 ballistic pistol in game. User interface. The following updates have been made to the default key bindings. All the below changes can be rebound as desired, and I recommend you actually do go into controls and make sure you rebind them to your personal settings. Scoreboards in Arena Commander and Star Marine are now activated with the F1 key on the keyboard. Exit seat is no longer behind a modifier 1 on any device. The exit seat is now exited by holding F on the keyboard or holding Y on a gamepad. However, the hold time has been increased. Holster weapons is now hold R on the keyboard or hold X on the gamepad. They've removed the throttle, max and min from the double tap, S and W on the keyboard. The max min throttle can now be toggled via backspace. They've added prone toggle, independent of crouch, on the X on the keyboard. Left control is still crouch on the keyboard, again toggle. Afterburner is now the only action on the left shift for keyboard, and B on the gamepad, and button 7 on a joystick. Boost is now X for the keyboard, or L3 on a gamepad, and button 6 on a joystick. Space brake is now on left alt and X for the keyboard. See details of the flight balance changes to understand how space brake now uses boost to brake faster. The intelligent flight computer system mode now, shift mode has now been removed. So, as cruise has been removed and accessing precision mode is done via the activating landing mode, basically. Cycle safeties is now on the V key of the keyboard, no modifier required. Heal in first-person shooter mode is V on the keyboard to minimise accidental presses of the grenade while trying to heal. New camera controls are accessed by holding down F4. As I said earlier, please check out my video on the third-person camera to learn more about that. Walk is now B on the keyboard to toggle walk and run modes. Combat emotes are mapped to the numpad 1 through 6. As we discussed earlier. Flight pitch is now inverted by default on the gamepad, and third-person orbit cameras have now on left button and a right 3 or R3 on the gamepad. So there were quite a few fixes done for 2.6 as well. I just wanted to sum up a load of them. Some of them are just obviously stuff that you'd expect for crashes. Yeah, they fixed numbers of server crashes and client crashes. Some decals which were displayed backwards have been flipped. They fixed problems that the users were experiencing with the ESP. Various animations with turrets, seats, and ships are now fixed. Lots of weapon audio issues have been corrected. Various UI and HUD bugs have been corrected. Texture clipping and flickering has been reduced. There was fixed some performance drops associated with changing camera views rapidly. Fixed an issue with spamming the escape key on a loading screen that would cause you to drop out to a menu without any options on, basically, and you had to restart your client. They fixed a number of rare issues with account persistence, where data would stop updating after certain upgrades. Fixed a number of edge cases with persistence that would cause players to spawn in invisible, missing equipment and items and other similar bugs as well. So they've done a load of updates and fixes to that sort of stuff as well. But it's all stuff that you'd expect. Textures not being aligned correctly, and that's sort of bits and bobs as well. So I did also want to talk about known issues for 2.6. They've got a document on that here. This is not a complete list of every bug in the game, nor does the absence of a bug from this list mean it's not on our radar for a future fix. If you wish to contribute to the process of finding, diagnosing, and fixing bugs, we strongly encourage players to take advantage of our new issue council. We'll link that in the description to report them to us. Always, please do not contact customers to report game bugs. Thanks. That is what the issue council is for. If you go to the help section on the website as well, you can see if there's a fix for anything in particular. Obviously, I do videos for that as well. Woo, because I'm the best. Star systems. There are several locations in the Aero View hangar where characters can see through terrain collision. Game systems. Players in a party will be separated after finishing a multiplayer game. You have to reform parties after a match. There are rare situations where a character may appear to be sprawled out on the floor at a strange angle after EVAing into a ship that they don't own. This only affects some clients who are viewing that specific character and doesn't affect the user personally. Rec weapons and components are not currently appearing in port modification app and cannot be equipped to ships. Arena Commander. Squadron Battle and Arena Commander is not balancing teams properly. If players join Arena Commander's match as it's ending, they will be placed in a phantom match that no other players can join. Clients that were on Team 2 in a public game may be placed in an invisible Team 2 on returning to the lobby. The matchmaking server is not always recognising different map selections for race mode, causing players to be matched into different maps than the one selected. Ships entering an Aurora while another pilot is entering the pilot seat can cause the pilot to snap outside the cockpit. The Constellation, all variants, have misaligned turret entrance and exit animations. Players will sometimes fall through the Constellation Andromeda after accessing the lifts. Co-pilot seat controls for the Freelancer have been temporarily removed until the ability to pass ship control to a separate player is implemented. The M50 in Astro Armada is missing its main thrusters. The lower deck bed on the Retaliator does not have a use prompt. If a turret co-pilot exits the seat as the pilot is entering and exiting their ship, they will get stuck and unable to exit the ship. First person, character helmets can disappear in Crusader at cruise speed or certain distances. Characters can sometimes appear invisible after respawning, or appear invisible hurts my brain. Respawning a second time will generally resolve that issue. User interface, ship HUD. The pitch invert options do not work with turrets, while camera view is on the default turret camera. The look reticle will sometimes get stuck when firing weapons, causing gimbaled weapons to fire in a direction other than intended. A duplicate ship hologram will sometimes appear overlaid on the ship status HUD. The PWR screen of the ship HUD is missing item labels. Technical, when playing with SLI enabled, loading into a new map causes this screen to flicker for approximately 10 seconds. As a personal note here, I don't suggest using SLI at the moment. I've had very bad issues with SLI, but each their own. Spawning a Starfarer will sometimes cause the server to hitch momentarily. I believe that might be true for the Caterpillar as well. And that's kind of it for the known issues and patch notes. Please tell me what you think of the format like that. Do you wish me to condense them down significantly? Would you prefer me to go through all of them, including ones that I've done specific videos, short videos for, like the camera controls and that sort of stuff in future? Please tell me. I will be doing a video for the disconnection codes separately, because I think that will be a heavily searched thing and people don't want to trawl through this video. But this was the patch notes for 2.6. I hope you enjoyed that. Please remember that commenting on any of our videos during a given month will give you a chance to win a ship. For January, that is an Avenger Titan. So please comment, tell me what you think, tell me what you want in 2.6.1, which will be the next patch, bringing some network improvements and fixing some of those major bugs, some of which were not mentioned. Check out the issue council if you wish to report or contribute towards bugs. Check out the description below as well for a link to all of what we've discussed, including a breakdown of the entire patch notes and lots of links and signposting to other things. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, as it genuinely does help me. Love your faces, and I'll see you in the verse.